I could be talked into it. I'm on the fence. I shouldn't, though.
Walk with us as we escort you to safety, experience, and the adventure of a lifetime.
All right, simple, easy. We mentioned it earlier, the fact that we are struggling. We are MMO players, and there are a lot of MMOs out there, and it's very easy. So SirJahzeal and I had this plan. This plan was that we would jump into the Burning Crusade with World of Warcraft, because the Burning Crusade was being launched, and we're gonna go, yes, we're gonna run through the portal. Wait, what? You gotta be level 58? Crud. I stopped playing my WoW Classic guy, so he was like 42, 43 at the time. Like, I'm not paying $40 to boost it up. All right, well, guess what? Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood kit comes out. Let's go play Blackwood. So I ended up doing that instead. I end up then turning off my World of Warcraft subscription. So it'll be turning off, and then it's like, we're playing ESO, where this is fantastic. And all of a sudden, Final Fantasy 14. What the heck is this interest in Final Fantasy 14? I played the game. I've always said, you've had Lurker on the show before who loves the game. He and his friends just love it. They love the lore, the music, everything about it, the graphics, the style, the way. Love it. Great. It wasn't always the game for me. So I'm like, I played it, but not really. But Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14. Like, what the freak is going on? Apparently, there have been several mainline streamers who got tired of WoW and decided to go Final Fantasy 14. So you got me, you got SirJahzeal, you got Super Shadow playing it last night. You got at the level 5 or 6. You have got Fuzz. You have even like Regen, right? You have Shadeless. Aki and Peach and his community are playing it. They have a free company. You're like, what the heck is Final Fantasy 14 going on? So you're like, crap. Now, July, Crowfall comes out. Been kickstarted, been around for a while waiting. It's finally being released and launched in July. We have New World coming out in August. You have Final Fantasy 14 Endwalkers coming out in November. And you have this Lost Ark, which is being ported over. Eventually, whenever Ashes of Creation, which is probably 2022, the Camelot Unchained, and there's also, Chronicles of Valyria. We'll see if that ever comes out. And you're sitting there going, oh my word, I love it. There's a lot of MMO games, but you're sitting there going, what do I do? Is what long pause comes. So, SirJahzeal, what are you gonna do?
I've kind of rode this with you. Yeah, we were gonna do Burning Crusade. I was pretty hyped on it, and then kind of reality started setting in that if we were going to do anything in that game that mattered, that's end game. And end game in the Burning Crusade requires you to at least have 20, 25 people that are going to be on at the same time to go do a raid. Can we do that? Well, I looked around and it didn't seem like there were that many people interested in it at all. And then it looked like it was even just going to be Kennethan and I. So I thought, well, you know what? We'll just play it. We'll play it and we'll have fun. And we got hooked up with a couple other guys who were saying that they had a guild over on a different server, but that meant we either had to pay for a transfer or to level up a character from level 1. Well, TBC, the leveling is 30% faster, about. It takes 30% less experience to get to max level in TBC. So that's nice, but it's still going to take an age to get leveled up to max. And then again, what are Kenneth and I going to do at that point? We don't have a guild. We don't have this, that. These other two people were saying that they had a guild, that they had other people, that we could build it up and do something. But I played for like a week and I never saw either of those two guys log on into the game. So I said, this is weird. ESO, Blackwood was released and we were going to play through that. and I was waiting to play with Kennethan, and then Kennethan wanted to get caught up to me in levels, so he started playing some of the story without me, which is fine. That's fine. I still want to play through it, but we'll get to that. I like Kennethan. I started hearing these little whispers all over the place of Final Fantasy XIV. Now, you all know my story. You all know my story. I've tried Final Fantasy XIV. I don't know how many times, probably 6 times in the past. I would get up to, I don't know, level 5 or something, and it's nothing but talking to NPCs and a little tiny bit of fighting mobs. And I said, not for me. I want to go out and kill stuff and collect stuff and be doing something besides clicking on text. It's just not my thing. I love RPGs, so you would think I would like that. But for some reason, with Final Fantasy XIV, I in the past didn't like it, didn't understand it, didn't get it. There are all these different systems that are totally foreign to me from other MMOs. Final Fantasy is its own thing, and there's a lot to it that even now, a couple of weeks later, I still don't know what I'm doing. Well, I was like, okay, are these people serious? Are they really? Is Fuzz really going to get on there? Is Shadeless really going to get on there? Is Aki really going to get on there? Lo and behold, not only did they get on there, but like a couple of them started streaming it. I saw Captain Pyre was streaming it.
Yep.
And I mean, and Ken was like, he'd been there and his kids have been there. And like, they were like, dude, we've been telling you for years, it's a good game. And I'm like, I just don't get it. And so I said, all right, here's the deal. If are you guys really going to play it? And they all said, yeah. So I said, all right, I will force myself. I'm going to play level 50. Whether you guys stick around or not, I'm going to play level 50. And I will, at that point, evaluate, is this really that cool of a story? Is this really that cool of a game? Because there's people telling me it absolutely is. And I got to tell you, I apologize to all of you for being the naysayer in the group. I have not only got to level 50, I'm almost level 60 as of today. And man, I'm having so much fun, so much more fun than I've had in an MMO in a long time. Now, there is a lot of text in that game. You got to want to read.
Isn't it also tab targeting?
It is tab targeting,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And there's things about Elder Scrolls Online that I way prefer.
Well, so
What?
here's the thing
wrong?
is though, you just mentioned the problem we're having is what game do you pick? With so many
Yeah, that's
choices,
where I'm
what
getting at.
do you do?
What do you do though when you're in that position where you're like, oh, but I want to play Blackwood, and I also want to play. I
you
want
only
to play
have
through the rest
X
of
number of
this
hours in a
story.
day.
You've only got 24 hours a day. I can only play for 6 hours on a good day. And I've got 3 MMOs and an ARPG, Path of Exile, that I'm wanting to play through the story still. What do you do?
What do you do?
You just have to, I don't know, roll dice, flip a coin. I really don't have the answer because I too want to play all of them at the same time.
Wow, you
And
just got our NPCs killed. You said I don't know what to do, which means now they're lost. They're like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Just run ahead. Yeah, I'll get to if they're attacking you, I'll get to you in a minute, okay? But I gotta think of what I'm gonna do, okay?
Since this is an escort quest, I will say this. If you've got too many irons on the fire, you just have to do like I did when I was a paramedic. Okay, you get on scene, you've got a 40 car pile up on the grapevine from snow.
He froze, or I froze.
No, he froze.
I was gonna say because I'm thinking maybe with my cause a problem, but he froze. He is just middle. Look at his face, man. It's like, God. That's gonna be our title card, okay? I'm gonna make sure that's a title card right there, okay? That face. All right. While we're waiting for him to come back, okay, we're going to Solomon. Solomon, now that you're back on day shift, I'm not sure if you can get back in the MMOs, right? But what's the solution to too many games, not enough time? All these MMOs out there, and what do you do with them?
Don't sleep.
Do what?
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep. Is that an effective answer? Have you just killed all of our NPCs also in the Escort Quest? Because,
What is sleep, anyways?
the very thing you've been doing so many times because of your late night shift hours,
That's
that thing.
true, but see, then I would have just been playing games otherwise, right?
I guess, man, he is still frozen. I mean, he's absolutely, is he even having to us in chat, Oh, he's gone now.
Oh, there's that.
So now I
There
gotta
goes
go
my
to
stream.
2 people. Oh,
What is?
yeah,
I don't.
maybe
I
this.
haven't even set up my my UI for 2 people now.
I
It's
do
just
have
all
for
wonky.
two. I have a 2 because of, but where's my other
I'll
camera?
edit this part out, I guess. I don't
Video. Where's my video camera? Video
know.
capture is going to be this Cam. Oops, there you go. And I move it down to make it smaller, fit into the box here, make it bigger. And once this happens, then we will get to answering your questions again. Says you were talking about some. All right. What are you saying again?
I think he pretty much answered the question.
Yeah, see, my problem is that I first off, I was excited about getting back into ESO. I even told our morning song, the guild, I'm gonna play with you guys. Okay, I even jumped into watching them do some duels one night. And it's kind of fun. And like now I'm thinking like I should probably concentrate on Final Fantasy 14. Now, JahzealL did say something that was interesting in a chat the other night, was like this a give it a week at a time. In other words, week 1, let's say, is all ESO. Week 2 is all Final Fantasy 14. For myself right now, because of the way I am, level I am at the for 14, I'm higher up than them, so I can take the time. But man, Gutfuzz and JahzealL just getting up there to where I'm at, but they're not in my expansion yet. They're just now gotten to Heaven's Word, and I'm in Stormblood. And I've been enjoying some of the new music I've had. It was kind of interesting that I've always had issue with the music, but some pretty cool songs, as well as the he's coming back in my screen again. He is back. We have our title card because we have you frozen. What you're doing, right? And so that's going to be our title card, I think, But anyways,
Right.
so I'd say I was mentioning your idea, like doing 1 week ESO, 1 week Final Fantasy 14. So I also have the problem is that I vowed, okay, I vowed that 2021, that Train Thursday will always be a train game, not a, hey, I'm on the hype train, or look at this, it's like, it's a train type of like. And then, of course, I've also committed to Valheim on Wednesdays as being part of the community night. So I have 2 of my nights already wiped out due to those 2 things. So your idea of doing 1 MMO per week is not a bad idea. I've been doing like 2 days per week at least, 2 days ESO, 2 days Final Fantasy 14. Not always streaming them, but playing the games. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 was tonight. Yesterday was ESO. Played a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 after stream with Super Shadow got on and we're starting to level up. And then I play some Final Fantasy 14 on Monday and Tuesday when I don't stream. So I think that's the way to do it sometimes, is to balance it out. But what am I going to do in July when Crowball comes?
Oh,
What am I going to do in August with New World?
Oh,
I was planning on jumping into New World big time,
I'm not gonna lie. I have no desire to play New World anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, but that's for a different. That's a different.
We
That's
should
for a
talk.
different
Yeah,
episode.
we get closer to that. We should talk about why. Because I mean, it looks like more and more information keeps coming out. It's like a pretty decent looking game, so we'll try it out.
The less enthusiastic I become, ironically. Maybe they should just stop with the news and just have it as a surprise, just for me. Don't say anything.
Well, I know Gutfuzz has been like, yeah, will it be any good? We have Mifuki rating us with a party of 8. How's it going? Talking about MMOs, okay? So
funny, I rated Mifuki from my thing, so I'm getting them back.
Yay! So the question we're having right now, we're not quite done with our show, we're almost there, but the idea was that we have too many games, not enough time. How does one balance out playing these different MMO games? Right now, I have ESO and Final Fantasy 14 on my play card, on my dance card. Let's do a dance card. And come next month, July is going to be Crowfall, and in August will be New World. It's like I have this problem. I'm not retired. Okay, I have a day job. So how does one solve the problem of too many? It does boil down to you kind of rolling a dice a little bit and saying you roll a dice or do a vote or a poll and then just say I just focus on one game. I literally turn off one game and play one game only.
Can I give the analogy that I was going to give?
Sure. When you froze.
By the way, Spectrum, they sent me a message on here. They're blaming it on the extreme heat.
It is hot in California, I hear, but it's only 70s up here in Washington.
It
so
actually,
nice.
It's gone up to 110 right now,
Oh,
and
my
it's
word.
8:16 p.m. That's what I get for living next to the Mojave Desert, right? Although that's 45 minutes away, but it's close enough.
It's close enough.
So the analogy I was going to give is when I was working as a paramedic on the ambulance, and I was given the analogy. I don't know if anybody heard it, so I'll just start at the beginning. That you have these massive pileups during the winter time, where you've got snow up on the grapevine, and you get multiple injuries and whatnot, and different what we call tags. You've got the red tag and green tag, yellow tag, black tag, all that stuff. That is basically a way of triaging, and that's kind of how I'm treating this situation that we're in right now. We already are sitting on several MMOs that we're wanting to play at the same time now, and we have multiple MMOs, and I have RPGs that I'm sitting here waiting for. I know Solomon is too, the rest of the year coming out that I'm wanting to play. And it's like, dude, I only play a game for like 6 hours a day at the most. That's on a good day. 4 hours usually. So it's like, okay, well, how do you play 3 MMOs in an ARPG in a 4-hour time slot? You can't. So I'm having to do a kind of electronic triage. Okay, which one? I gotta figure out which one am I enjoying the most, and which one's the least. Oh, that one gets cut off. Okay, now do it again. And when these new games come out, I'm not going to play Crowfall, I don't think. I don't know. I could be talked into it. I'm on the fence. I shouldn't, though.
I kickstarted it, so I'm definitely playing it.
Right, which is why I want to play it, because I want to play it with you. But I don't want to add another thing to the fire, because then New World. And I pre-ordered it, and I still want to play it. I'm with Solomon. I understand. Believe me, I understand. I don't think I'm going to stick to it very long, but I'd like to play it for its first month or whatever and just have fun with everybody while they are playing it. And then like I said, we've got all these other games. I'm just going to have to do it like, hey, we're going to play this, but we're only going to play it, like you said, for a week. And then at the end of that week, I go, do I want to keep this on the list or do I want to boot it? And if I want to keep it on the list, I have to boot one of the other games, because you can only play so many MMOs at the same time. You just can't. They're not designed to be played while you're playing another MMO. And that's what we love. Us three guys here love about MMOs is they are so detailed and they have so much to do, that it encompasses your life, man. And it just gives you so much joy, because one day you can just do, raiding. Another day you can go do dungeons. Another day you can just do quests. Another day you can work on your trade skills, professions, whatever. Or discovery or collecting like transmog and mounts and things. And there's so many things that you can like break up the monotony with in just one game. And it's really, they're just great for that. But when you go and try to do multiple, it's just, I would probably be pulling hair out right now, but as you can see, that's already happened. God's done that for me. Um, I'm jealous of you guys, but yeah, that's my advice is to just do that. You're gonna if you're like us and you've got all these games coming out, you're just gonna have to triage it and go, what's the best one that I enjoy spending the most time in, and what's the one that's least, and cut that least one off, and then just go back and do it again until you reach a point where you have time to do other things like use the restroom, take care of your kids and your wife or husband,
mow the grass, go to work.
Mow the grass, go to work, go to church, read your Bible and pray. You know, and that's where I'm at right now. I truly am. The problem with me is I enjoy ESO for certain things, and I enjoy Final Fantasy for certain things, and I enjoy Path of Exile for certain things. And they're all different, but they're all beautiful and they're all awesome. And I just don't want. Yeah, I can put each of them has something that's on the bottom. It's not like one of them is definitely the worst. It's that, well, which one's worst is the worst of the worst, and cut that one. And it's like, oh man. So right now, honestly, if people have been asking me, especially on my stream, like, well, what are you going to do, man? I'm like, World of Warcraft gone, retail and classic, Path of Exile on the shelf, and ESO right now, honestly, I think that's on the shelf until I have told people I'm at least going to get to Heaven's Ward, and then once I get to that chapter, I'll reevaluate and see if maybe I want to, okay, now let's go back and play through Blackwood, and then we'll go back and do Heaven's Ward all the way through Shadowbringers.
Well, Heaven's Ward, the Stormblood, and Shadowbringers.
Stormblood. Yeah. Okay, Stormblood. So, play through that and then just kind of go back and forth between those two. But you're right. We've got these other MMOs that are going to get put in the picture, and that's going to mess my whole theory up.
Well, that's where because I'm higher level than you right now in Final Fantasy 14, and I'm in Stormblood, and I'm watching you guys catch up to me, that I have time to play some ESO. I've been doing some of the old quests for ESO, realizing that I just finished up one quest in ESO that was, I forget what it was, like, oh, well, okay, I finished that one. Interesting. That must have been an older expansion. I did the same thing I'm doing with Final Fantasy 14. I just finished up a quest, a duty, and I'm like, oh, wait, that's like way back then quest. Oh my gosh. It was like original game quest I hadn't finished. It was a side quest. It wasn't the main story quest, because you literally have to do the main story quest, go through all the duties to get through it. So it was clearly a side one. Another example one I just did, I'm not sure, I think it might have been Heaven's Word, but it was one where it's like a time travel thing. It was a very a steampunk type of thing going on, and it was really had more of a more rock music type stuff. And what's interesting was like the story about this woman, she fell in love, and then something happened where her lover got sucked into becoming a primal now, and what happened to him, and the whole story, and how they sacrificed themselves for the greater good, and like, and it was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting story, It was a side quest because it wasn't part of the main quest, but it's still a very much of a main story, I thought, in the game. So it was kind of fun. Okay. That ends our Escort Quest. We clearly... Shoot. You guys are off the cliff over there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you fell off the cliff there, okay? We kind of not led you guys in the right direction sometimes, Wasn't just you, SirJahzeal. It was also Solomon, okay?
We tried.
My NPCs got there okay. Not really. I didn't say anything, but... Check out the further adventures of Kennethan by liking and subscribing and watching me live on twitch.tv/Kennethan.